Birdman is one of the most successful CEOs and entrepreneurs in hip-hop history. But Birdman has also been on the receiving end of some of the most horrendous and disturbing allegations one could ever receive. But the most recent allegations coming from a former artist may be the worst one yet.
They talk about stuff like the Illuminati.
Wow, you gonna go that far? I don't think you're ready for that.
I think you are.
I don't think you are.
The Illuminati. Is this a real thing?
Yes.
And were you ever introduced to it? Did you?
I would never tell you that. But I would tell you one thing. I told you, success don't come from working hard. What I told you, success comes from being chosen.
I'm the only one that have enough credit and credibility being around Yella, being that I pulled him off the porch to tell this story. And we all know what the rumors were, this, that, and the other. But like I said, I was there. So I'm gonna give y'all the real story. So as far as the rumor y'all heard, it is true. In my opinion, CMR, Cash Money Records, is responsible for Yella Boy's death. So it is what it is. Now, let me give y'all the reason why I decided to expose these niggas.
If you are not yet a member of the Patreon, link is in the description. Please consider becoming a member, as you will have access to many videos you cannot find here on YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. I'm your host, Didi. Super tired, not gonna lie. I'm trying to get these videos out to you all. I'm super excited about this one, man. Long time overdue. Birdman. Let's talk about Birdman. Hit the like button on your way in. Just want to remind a lot of you all that support me that I will be going live for the second time tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So stay tuned for that. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know who Birdman is, essentially, Birdman, a quick synopsis or a quick backstory on Birdman's story. He was born in 1969 in New Orleans, Louisiana. At the age of 5, his mother actually became very, very sick, and unfortunately she would pass away, which then would have Birdman was actually sent to live with his uncle in Canada before he would shortly come back to Louisiana, and he would eventually get into the streets. And during this time when Birdman was a lot younger, there was a new sound that was emerging in New Orleans at the time called bounce music. And so Birdman decided that him and his brother, they wanted to get into the music industry because Birdman was allegedly making a lot of money in the streets. So he had the clout, he had the means to do so. So he would start searching for artists in New Orleans. And as we know, he would then start signing a lot of people. And even as far back as his early days, Birdman has always been accused of taking advantage of his artists, but not just taking advantage of his artists financially and not paying them what they're due, but he has also been accused of taking advantage of his male artists in other ways. And as we all know, Lil Wayne was actually one of those artists. He actually met Birdman when he was around 8 or 9 years old, and he became obsessed with the lifestyle. Lil Wayne's mother didn't like that he was around Birdman, to the point where Lil Wayne even said himself in a song that his own mother thought that Birdman was the devil.
The story with you and Wayne, how did you guys become so close?
His parents went to school with my brother and sister.
Got it.
Honestly, when he was young, I met him through another guy named Lil Slim. But when he was young, his mama didn't want him around me.
But there was only so much that she could do because Birdman, even though he wasn't Lil Wayne's biological father, because Lil Wayne's biological father would actually lose his life when Lil Wayne was 12 years old, which would then resort to Lil Wayne attempting to kill himself with his own mother's gun. But this also had to do in part because she was telling him he couldn't hang out with Birdman them anymore, and he really wanted to rap.
I called the police. Yes, I knew where she kept her gun. And it was in her bedroom. And so I went in her bedroom, grabbed the gun. I already made the phone call. Looked in the mirror, did like that. Of course, and was like, oh no. You know, because I got a little too scared. That was my head. Like, no.
You actually pulled the trigger?
Yeah, I pulled the trigger.
Where'd you shoot?
In my chest. Didn't feel a thing from my heart. And didn't feel a thing though. So I wasn't going through any pain. It was a shock. I woke up to the police knocking, and that's what woke me up. Mind you, the walls, the ceilings and the walls were white like this. So when I'm on my back, when you're looking up, my eyes probably were open the whole time. I didn't know that the clicking. As a kid, all you remember is you see when you die, you're gonna see the white, and you're gonna have. Well, I thought that was the white. The last one, to God, I did.
Well, things would only get worse. If you're Lil Wayne's mother, things would only get worse because Birdman's influence began to show, or negative influence began to show in other ways when it came to his relationship with Lil Wayne, because they could then be seen in videos and pictures out in public kissing each other on the lips. And this is when Lil Wayne was super young. And we've heard over the years, Turk, who was actually a part of the Hot Boys, which is one of the groups that Birdman created, he's came out on Drink Champs and other interviews saying, hey, listen, there wasn't anything funny going on. We basically ran like a mafia. That's basically what that was about. But many people were not convinced about that, especially when you consider the fact that Lil Wayne can be heard on camera saying that he is the only person that gets to kiss Birdman.
I got y'all up here. So when you kiss the girl, right?
I'm on the person he kissed. That's our rule. That's somebody else, man. We roll like that.
You don't like Birdman? Y'all got a little issue?
No, I don't. I've done business with Birdman. Mm-hmm. Some are good and some is bad. I just think when you're trying to be a CEO and you're trying to be a rapper and you're trying to be a ladies' man and you're trying to be a girlfriend and you trying to be
a girlfriend,
a Crip and a Blood.
You trying to be a girlfriend?
Why you call him a girlfriend?
I don't know. That's what they said. Oh.
Now I want y'all to consider something, man. There's one thing to try to run yourself like a mafia, but I want you to imagine at 14, 15 years old. I mean, you're going through puberty. You're not a kid anymore. You're not a little boy, and you're kissing another grown man on the lips who's not related to you. Not that would even make a difference. But then on top of that, you're making comments when the conversation is about romantic relationships with women, and you interject and say, no, I'm the only person that he kissed. The crowd starts to cheer. The host seemed to try to act neutral about what he just said. That's awkward. That's odd. That's not normal. I think this was 100% the early signs that Lil Wayne was 100% groomed by Birdman, and everything in this video is alleged. These are just my opinions. I mean, there's even a clip that went viral many years ago that a lot of you probably forgot about of Birdman in a crowd with Lil Wayne, and he's like pulling on Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne's like tugging away from him. I guess they maybe had some sort of back and forth, and he was upset with him. The point of me mentioning this is to say, this is a weird clip. This is not how two heterosexual men behave with one another, which, by the way, let me make sure I say this. I always got to say this disclaimer. The video is not about bashing or going after people who are gay. The purpose is, if you claim to be gay and you're doing this, nobody's shocked. No one cares. But the fact is, you claim to be heterosexual, you claim to be gangsters, but you have this very suspect behavior, just like Young Thug, who will come up later in the video. But it gets worse, because there's another clip that went viral of Lil Wayne and Birdman fighting in public, and this little back and forth that they had. We got to see this from a couple of different angles. We don't really have the full backstory of what happened here, but you can hear Lil Wayne asking him to apologize.
Hey there. So much fun. All right, hold on. Wow. Okay, to make the pro trophy.
We were on the same team, and we're on the same team. We basically just got cheated.
I don't like to be touched by people I don't tell to touch me, so.
Again, it's just odd behavior. This is not daddy's son behavior. This is something else. Well, in 2014, things will turn drastically bad, probably the worst that it's ever been between Lil Wayne and Birdman, when Lil Wayne came out and publicly dissed him and sued Cash Money for $51 million in unpaid royalties. And then in April of 2015, the next year, as we talked about in my Young Thug video, a guy by the name of Pee Wee Roscoe, who is affiliated with Young Thug, would actually be arrested after he shot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. But why this is relevant is because Pee Wee Roscoe literally came out and told, or as they would say, snitched, and said that the reason why he did this was because of Birdman. Some people called this a sacrifice. Somebody said that they was just trying to get Lil Wayne out the way so they didn't have to pay the money. Regardless of how you see it, to go from kissing another grown man on the lips, justifying it multiple times in interviews, saying that you'll do it again because he's like a kid to you, to this same person suing you for $51 million, and now you're allegedly having somebody to try to take this person out that you've known since he was 8 or 9 years old, is absolutely insane. But this story is about to get way worse, because in January 2016, Lil Wayne and Birdman can be seen together at an event with Drake, which is very weird to a lot of people. It's like, how do you go from trying to get me killed to now all of a sudden we're buddy-buddy, we're taking pictures together? Well, it may seem that this picture was a little bit misleading, because in September of 2016, Lil Wayne actually stated that he'll never work with Birdman again. And then finally in June of 2018, Lil Wayne will be released from his contract with Cash Money. One thing that I noticed about Birdman is that Birdman intentionally signs a lot of young boys, a lot of young male artists, right? And one could say, well, they're full of so much potential. There's no purpose in signing. I'm not saying you got to sign 40 or 50-year-olds, but it seems that he specifically and intentionally signs them very young. And I believe that he did this for 2 or 3 different reasons. One of the reasons is because the younger they are, the more impressionable they are, the easier they are to manipulate, both financially and other ways as well. Which leads me to my second point. It would be a lot easier to groom a person the younger that they are, especially a person like Lil Wayne with no father figure. You can help brainwash or warp the way that he sees life, especially considering the fact that you're successful, you have a lot of money, a lot of clout. So that gives him reason to believe that whatever you're doing must be right and I should listen to you. And it just came off almost, it comes off almost as if he takes these artists, he squeezes every bit of juice that he can get out of them, and then he tosses them to the side. When he's done with them, they're no longer relevant, no longer popping, and he don't have a need for them anymore, instead of actually investing in them like a true business and making it a reciprocal relationship. But when you look at Birdman's career, he's had too many people that's dropped around him like flies. And the third reason is because I believe that Birdman, I think it's open information that he is, public information that he's a blood gang member, but I also believe that he is a Freemason. And I believe that he's an occultist and he participates in satanic rituals, heavily following Aleister Crowley. Because in Aleister Crowley's religion, Thelema, something that they talked about is doing some very evil things to children. Because children are innocent and adults can really benefit from doing certain things to them that I can't talk about on YouTube. I also believe that Birdman is a Freemason, not just because of his affiliations, but I think it's very evident when you look at a lot of his videos and a lot of the symbolism, and not only his videos, but his artist videos like Drake, Nicki Minaj, and especially Lil Wayne, which I have to do a video on Lil Wayne, but I'll add that to the other 50 videos that I'm trying to get to. Not to mention that Birdman literally has a pentagram on the top of his head. Another very odd thing that isn't really talked about enough when it comes to Birdman is the amount of artists that he signed that's actually passed away. I mean, Birdman has had a lot of artists died on his label. From Young Greatness, Magnolia Shorty, Sporty T, BTY Youngin, and Yellow Boy. And just real quick, let's just spend a little bit of time real quick talking about BTY Youngin. I remember a few years ago when he was trending and he was all over social media with freestyles, and then he ended up linking with Birdman. Yes, that kid was in the streets, but his death was very weird to me. I don't believe that. I don't know if Birdman had anything to do with it, but BET definitely thinks so. Like a platform like BET literally put out an article accusing Birdman of having something to do with what happened to the kid. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that he had a lot of beef in his city. That's true. He was living a street lifestyle. But even if Birdman didn't have anything to do with it, why is it that Birdman, just like Gucci, I noticed that Gucci did this. I was just watching a video of Gucci the other day trying to attract more artists to come to his label by showing millions of dollars in cash.
In the world, you got the Trump girl right here. All these $100,000 a pop. So look, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000. That's $1 million right there. That's what I'm willing to invest in my next superstar, because I'm starting a whole new label, fresh, So Icy Millionaires. So who want to join my new label, because I'm looking for my next male superstar. Babe, where you at with the count? How much you got over here?
So far, I got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 8, 9, $1 million. I got $1 million, plus I got some extras that I'm still counting up for the female artists.
So I got $1 million for my next female superstar. I got $1 million for my next male superstar. Who want to join the So Icy Millionaires? Hit my DM right now. Happy 4th of July.
Fuck y'all haters. Ow.
But not really telling them the backside of the stuff that comes with signing with the record label. Just like how Gucci seems to sign all these artists from the streets, getting locked up, passing away off dope and drugs, but he not telling them that there's a strong chance he has life insurance on every single one of them. He knows that every last one of them are liabilities. Because why are you only targeting street guys? Why? There's a lot of talent in this world, a lot of talent. And there's a lot of them that are not in the streets. Why are you not signing and prioritizing them? Don't tell me because they're not hot. You can make them hot. If you put that machine behind them and they got the talent, you can make anybody blow. but you do this on purpose. You know that their liabilities, you have life insurances on their lives, and at the same time, simultaneously, they get to push a demonic lifestyle to the masses. It's the same thing with Birdman. He seems to sign mostly street artists, and I can guarantee you there's a strong chance Birdman has life insurance on these people. And then the last artist was a guy by the name of Yellow Boy, who actually passed away, I believe, in New Orleans because he was killed. Well, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this because there's an artist by the name of Chopper who recently came out and exposed. I'm going to say exposed because I believe him. Because just like in my Lil Durk video, OTF Vonnie's dad came out and only exposed what he believes really happened with King Von and how Lil Durk was involved only because he didn't get his cut or his portion. Well, it's the same thing that's going on with Chopper. He's upset about some things with Birdman, so now he's exposing what he calls the truth about what happened to one of Birdman's artists. It's a guy by the name of Yellow Boy, as I've said, and he claims that Birdman has something to do with it because Yellow Boy and him had beef. So Birdman used another person, which sounds very reminiscent to the Lil Wayne story. He claims that Birdman used another person in the city to take Yellow Boy out. Take a listen.
Cash Money Records orchestrated the hit on Yellow Boy, and Hot Beezel carried the hit out. So some of y'all might say, well, we already heard that, but let me give y'all some receipts. So y'all know years ago we had it popping off the chain. We had the city on lock, having it our way. Eventually we would come to odds with Cash Money because we started seeing money going into their pockets, into their bank account, and seeing stuff that they was buying, and it wasn't adding up to the checks that they was writing to us. They was giving us money, but it wasn't what we deserved. They was giving us kind of on the cool, we was getting what we asked for, but we didn't know better. We wasn't getting what we earned. And later on, down the line, we will find that out in a court battle. So during this time, you know, y'all was doing his thing, but like I said, I pulled Yellow off the porch. And pretty much we had a drug habit, but you couldn't tell us that something was wrong with us because we had so much money. And that's one of the most dangerous drug addicts that can exist, is a drug addict with money. One thing is being on drugs and don't have money. That's going to lead you to robbing, stealing, and killing. But when you're a drug addict with money, you don't think nothing wrong with you. You know, we still came outside every day with ballet shoes and polos and jabots and jewelry and fly cars, nice houses, but we had drug habits. And when I say receipts, I mean receipts because my city can back what I'm saying. As all this going along, we started asking questions about our royalty checks, and you know, tensions begin to rise. So me being the cool head and the one that likes to calculate before I react, you know, I used to always tell Yellow, just chill, man. We gonna figure it out and do it how we have to do it and get our bread. But Yellow, who was a little hot-headed, well, he was real hot-headed, he wasn't having that. So Yellow used to challenge Baby, aka Birdman, all the time and test his gangster, and Birdman would test his gangster, and them two would clash a lot. So during this time, most of the time when things would get too far, I get tired and get fed up and be like, man, I'm about to go get myself clean, this, that, and the other. And during this time, things had got real heated with us, and I decided that I wanted to go to the rehab and be like, man, let me clean myself up. And things had got real heated with Birdman and Yellow, and they had a verbal altercation, and Yellow took it up on himself and we rode around Birdman's house in New Orleans East and shot up a bunch of cars, 3-4 cars. So I got the phone call that he shot up 2 cars, this, that, and the other. And you know, he kind of was on the move, and we wasn't talking to each other at this time because I was real pissed off with him. So if anybody in my hood know Yellow, they would know that he was a mama's boy, the only child, and he had a little greed with him. And his greed would kind of ultimately cost him his life, because Yellow had them went behind our back and booked a show at Warren Easton without us. And you know, Warren Easton was his alumni. So on the night he booked the show at Warren Easton, he went and did the show, and after he did the show, you know, the mark was already on his head. You feel me? So now this where the snake shit come in at. You feel me? So my receipts are that OG Giggity was initially summons to do it, but to give him a little credit, he didn't want to touch it. But to take that credit right back away from him, he passed that on to Hot Beezel. And I'm gonna tell you how I know for sure Hot Beezel pulled it off. So on this night, Yellow used to hang with this little dude, Manfield. Rest in peace, Manfield. Manfield dead right now. After Yellow was shot and killed that night, you know, by me knowing he hang with Manfield, that was the first person that I started looking for to find out what's going on, because I knew for a fact he was with Manfield. So word on the street, Tech looking for Manfield, Tech looking for Manfield. And Manfield was dodging me. So, you know, instead of making my rounds, mind you, I'm just left the rehab, but I done relapsed again. I'm back on dope because my nerves bad and something off. So I finally catch Manfield on 6 and LaSalle by Julio's store, sitting on the ground full of that dope. I run up on him and give him a 2-piece and some fries. Pop, 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 pop. He dodging me for what happened to Yellow. So when I pressed Manfield, Manfield told me, yeah, I was with Yellow, but he picked up Hot Beezel, and Hot Beezel made Yellow put Manfield out the car. Yeah, straight up, real receipts. So once I learned that, I just like, okay, I'm gonna play it cool. But I'm so invested and so addicted to drugs, you know, that would be my first order of business every day. You know what I'm saying? Where the real receipts came in at, because it could have just been Manfield word against his, but I doubt it, because why would Manfield just make up a cockamamie story like that? So what made me know for sure that he did pull his snake ass shit off is because a little bit before that, Baby, aka Birdman, brought me to this car dealership out there in New Orleans East on Bullitt. I think it was a Ford, Bond Ford, or if it wasn't that, but it was on Bullitt. And he cashed me out a red Ford Mustang, right? So once he cashed me out, he left, so I built a relationship with the salesman. Boom, 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 boom. We got the car, blah, 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 bam. I'm swinging and banging in the car. A couple of months had passed, and I was like, I'm gonna go trade this car in. So when I go trade the car in, and I walk into the car lot, he was like, oh, what's up, Tech? Your man's just left here buying one of his little homies a truck. I said, yeah. I said, who it was? He couldn't tell me who it was, because at the time, who the fuck knew who Hot Beezel was? You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who he was. Remember Hot Beezel? We the ones that put your name in songs. Psycho Skeeter, Uncle Larry Hurricane Cup, they come from Gangsta Cocoa Peanuts, Blue Day, y'all got pumps. Yeah, nigga. Remember that? Your name was Psycho before it was Hot Beezel. We put you in songs and you snake my left partner. But anyway, once I learned that, I go uptown, I see Hot Beezel with a brand new Toyota. So I'm like, oh, so that's who Birdman bought the truck for. Now, mind you, Hot Beezel had no affiliation with us, Cash Money. So there's no logical reason that Birdman would take him to the car lot and buy him a car. There was no way that he could have earned that money. He didn't carry no boxes. He didn't put up no posters. He didn't do no road work. He didn't do nothing. He just came out the blue and went to the car lot with Birdman and was bought a Toyota truck. So that confirmed it for me. But I been knew that Hot Beezel was a snake, because way back then, even when we was like little kids, and you know how you sit on abandoned steps and you spray paint your name on the house, he would sneak around there at night and scratch our name out and scratch 4th Street on the house. You know, just some dumbass hating ass. And then fast forward, we still would put their names in songs. Nobody know who Mosquito, Gangsta, Psycho, or none of these boys was until UNLV put their names in songs. We made them neighborhood superstars. And then we the ones took y'all outside the hood and let y'all see the city and other cities outside the city. And you turn back around and snake a nigga like that. But like I said, you've been a snake. And mind you, this wasn't the first time that he shot Yellow Boy. One night after Corn Dance, he clowning around showing off for some hoes, and he's shooting at the ground, telling Yellow to dance, dance, nigga, dance, showing out for these hoes, and he hit Yellow in the ankle. So that was the first incident. And I always told Yellow, man, why the fuck you going outside the hood, hanging with these outside ass niggas? They just looking for clout. You know what I'm saying? We already done gave these niggas clout by putting their names in songs. You feel me? So it is what it is. Now, let me give y'all the reason why I decided to expose these niggas. For one, I'm tired of the city of New Orleans, and every other city holding on to this secret like these niggas, the mob or something. Man, them boys. Real talk. I lost a partner. You feel me? They human just like I'm human. You feel me? You know, the city holding on to these boys. And what pisses me off is y'all let these niggas come in the city and play in y'all face every time they got some kind of event in the city. These niggas show up in the city, gather a bunch of them to come hang around them to make them look good. And all you up and coming rappers, they promise y'all they gonna with y'all and get y'all a deal, this, that. I'm just tired of nigga playing in the nigga face. You know, all that old hoe ass. And I'ma hold you niggas accountable, man. You dig what I'm saying? I'm holding you niggas accountable. Y'all responsible for my nigga debt. And I ain't gonna let you niggas keep sliding like y'all ain't do nothing, like y'all such good guys. Y'all ain't no good guys. Y'all niggas some snakes. Straight up, y'all some snakes. You dig what I'm saying? Reason is you niggas instead of been playing in my face. You know, when I came home from jail, I linked back up with y'all and started releasing some music. And Baby, aka Birdman, reached out to a nigga through GDP. And you know, we talked on the phone for like an hour, and it was like, yeah, this, that, and the other. Yeah, man, I won't finish my career the way I started with y'all. Y'all like my little brothers, you know, this, that, and the other. Man, I want y'all to come do this Cash Money reunion with me in the Superdome, man. I'm gonna shoot y'all 10 racks, bro. Just give me a minute, I'll call y'all back. But it's on, man. Y'all in the show. Me knowing who he is and how he been with me all these years, I didn't believe him as far as I could throw him. But my little dog latched on to that. Y'all latched on to that, and he believed him. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, me and y'all two different people. So, you know, I'm a street nigga, me, man. If you want to make me out of believe and shoot me to deposit, then I know we locked in. So lo and behold, man, when it's time for the shoot the deposit, this nigga stopped answering the phone. And I'm like, man, what the? Why is you even playing with me, man? I didn't call you. I didn't reach out to you. I wasn't bothering you. I'm doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep doing music, stay active because I love to do music and I'm good at it. You call me with the, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just tired of nigga playing in the nigga face. You know, all that old hoe ass. And I'ma hold you niggas accountable, man. You dig what I'm saying? I'm holding you niggas accountable. Y'all responsible for my nigga debt. And I ain't gonna let you niggas keep sliding like y'all ain't do nothing, like y'all such good guys. Y'all ain't no good guys. Y'all niggas some snakes. Straight up, y'all some snakes. You dig what I'm saying? And I ain't about to stand here and keep on letting that secret go by. The secret is out. I'm spilling it. I'm saying what these scary ass niggas in the city scared to say.
I believe him. Everything in this video is alleged, but my personal opinion, I believe him, right? When I look at Birdman's career, the people that he signed, the direction that their career is headed, typically goes, it's all suspect. Him affiliating himself with Young Thug and Young Thug having all this feminization about him, it's the same stuff. It's the same thing, right? Not to mention, what's the saying? You are the company that you keep. Not only is he around people like Young Thug and all these different folks, but he's also around people like Diddy. I remember it was a viral video of Diddy kissing his head. It was just weird. Like, why is another grown man doing that? Why is this normalized? It's the three-headed monster. You typically hear Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and Birdman. And every last one. I know that typically comes with fame and success in general. Typically, you're going to have some dirt thrown on your name, but not these type of allegations. Because apparently in New Orleans, it's a very well-known thing about rumors. I don't know if this is a fact. Everything I say in this video is alleged, once again. But they said that Birdman has had a lot of people knocked off. Terrence Gangsta Williams, who used to be affiliated with Birdman, has accused Birdman and basically confirmed that, yeah, I did a lot of murders for him on his behalf. And he's allowed to say this because he's been released from jail after exposing how a lot of people from New Orleans got killed who are no longer living. Apparently the people who killed them are no longer living, so he was allowed to tell on them. Well, he's also incriminated Birdman and said, yeah, coming up, I was that person. Birdman would send me to go take out people and I'd do it. Why would he allow his somebody he claims to love? Once again, I don't know why y'all look up to these people. These people are evil to make it to the top. It's a cutthroat game. They smile, they got flashy jewelry, but these people are not who you think they are. And just as a quick side note, I've always found it odd whenever a person always interviews with shades on inside. I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with wearing shades inside of the building at times, but every single interview when you have shades on, you have something to hide. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And Birdman always is wearing shades. But as always, hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, let me know what you think. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. That's all for this one. Until next time. Peace. Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.